Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Christian. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day. Whenever you are seeing this, I hope you are good. So today guys, we're gonna do a little chit chat video again. And we're gonna talk about some things to know in manifestation and just the realistic truth of the manifestation process. Because I feel like we do not have it right. And, I just see people complain a lot. I see people doubt themselves a lot and question what they're doing. And I just want to give you guys a great conversation that you can listen to whenever you need a reminder that you are on the right track, whenever you need a reminder to calm down, relax, and trust the process. Before we get into it, make sure you guys check out the description if you're interested in learning tarot from me, and also learning tarot from me on your own. So I officially launched the SelfLed Tarot course. Fully online. I send you the guide and all of the information to all of the courses. You take it on your own. You lead yourself through the course. I created this because I've been doing group tarot classes for a while and even solo tarot classes, but everybody doesn't have $200 for a solo tarot course. And also everyone doesn't have time in the afternoons or in the evenings to come together as a group collectively and meet on live every week to do a class. So I wanted you guys to have the curriculum, have the resources, and have the opportunity to go throughout the program on your own. So you can check the link in the description. I'm going to have down there where you guys can get your ticket to the class. And whenever you purchase your ticket, I'm going to immediately send you all of the information, all of the links to the classes, the guide and everything. Also a 21-day tarot challenge that you can use as well as you're learning. So make sure you guys check that out. I'm also doing releasing sessions now. So we have a full 90-minute releasing session and also a mini releasing. I've done a couple of these releasing sessions and everybody boo-hoos the whole time, okay, and gets their life together. And I mean together. So if you need to release, if you need to get something off of your chest, off of your spirit, as you step into the new year or just for whatever reason, go ahead, go to the website, book your releasing service. And everything else. You guys know you can check out the description for the podcast, to connect with me, the book club, everything. So let's go ahead, guys, and get into this video. So what you want to expect realistically when you're trying to bring something new into your life, when you're trying to manifest, expect for things to be moved, in a big major way. Also expect to have things about yourself become revealed to you. Let's say, for example, if you're trying to manifest a new job or a new car, right? A lot of us are trying to manifest a new job, new car, a new place. So let's start with the material stuff before we start talking about manifesting relationships and things like that. When you're trying to manifest material things, the first thing you're going to see is why you don't have that material thing in the first place. If you're bad with money, if you're envious of others, if you cannot handle things that come into your hands, if you have poor time management, if you have poor organizing skills, if you deal with a lot of self-doubt, if you don't trust yourself to make big decisions, if you feel insecure when you're around people who are doing better than you, all of those things are going to be revealed to you, because when you're someone who is abundant, when you're prosperous, when you have a lot of money, when you have a lot of resources, when you have a lot of things, you have to be a certain kind of person. And when you're just working, getting what you want, when you want, how you want it, without praying and asking God to bring it to you, you don't really have to do all of the preliminary work to make sure you're spiritually set to receive whatever God has for you. It's kind of like when you are, like let's say your job is giving away cars and you win a car. They're not going to ask you, do you take care of cars? Do you have any accidents on your record? Do you get cars, checked out regularly for their oil and stuff like that? I don't drive. I don't have a car, so I don't know, honey. But you know what I'm saying? They're not going to ask you all that before they just give you a car. But if you ask God, I want this car, God is going to say, are you going to be able to take care of it? Are you going to be able to pay for it? Do you have somewhere to even drive the car? Are you going to make sure that nobody else drives it besides you? Are you going to make sure that you respect it and that other people respect it? God isn't going to give you anything that you cannot handle or that you are going to squander. It's not going to happen. Seriously, if God is going to give you something, it's because he knows that you're ready to take care of it and that you're going to get the most from the manifestation. Because guess what happens? You ask for the car, God gives you the car, and you wreck the car, or you mess it up, or you let your friend borrow it and she wreck it, or something happens. And then what are you thinking? God, why'd you give me this car? God, why did this happen? Why is this happening? Why is this happening? You have to be prepared for whatever you want to receive. And when you're trying to manifest things that are material, prepare for conflict, prepare for issues, prepare for drama, prepare for things to pop up that might make you feel like, dang, maybe I'm not ready for this. Maybe I need to scale it back a little bit. And what happens when we feel that? We blame God. We blame our manifestations. We ask ourselves, am I manifesting the right thing? Maybe I shouldn't be manifesting this. We kind of get off of our spiritual journey altogether sometimes. We think that manifestation is fake. We think that the people saying they manifested their life is lying. We think it's a scam, when it's really exactly what you asked for. Exactly what you asked for. So what I need you to do, and I need you to tell your friends to do this as well, stop thinking that the bad stuff that happens in life, stop thinking that the obstacles and the roadblocks aren't supposed to happen. Everything that happens is supposed to happen. When you're in a space and you feel like this isn't supposed to be happening, yes it is. Yes it is. You might be disconnected from the purpose of it. You might not understand why it's happening, but it's supposed to be happening. It's supposed to be happening. And that sucks because we deal with a lot of frustration, a lot of things that inconvenience us, a lot of things that set us back in life all the time. But if you're trying to manifest specifically and you are coming against obstacles, these obstacles are trying to reveal things in you, or also reveal things about your environment, your friends, your home, your job, your setting that you need to change. So don't feel like once you manifest or once you ask God for something, we know it's not going to be brought into our lap, but don't think you're going to be comfortable while you're waiting on it, because the chances are you're not going to be comfortable. One, you're going to be thinking about your manifestation all the time. Two, you're going to be trying to align with your manifestation, right? And as you're trying to align with what you want, you have things coming at you, testing you every step of the way. It's a test. It's a test. God is not going to give you anything that you cannot take care of. And chances are, if you're asking for something and you want it in your life right now, you're not ready for it. Because if you were ready for that house, ready for that car, ready for that marriage, you would be in it already. You wouldn't have to ask God for a husband. You wouldn't have to ask God for your degree or to pass your exam or anything. You would have it already. It would be yours already. So when you have to ask for something and try to manifest, you're trying to bring it into your current reality. You're trying to make sure that you are able to align with it and make it happen right now. Now, yes, everything that's yours is already yours. It's already written for you to have it. But we have to kind of get to that next level. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like if you're a child and you're crawling, you know, whether you ask to walk or not, you're going to learn to walk. Eventually, you're going to get up, you're going to stand on your feet, you're going to walk. You don't have to say, I want to learn how to walk. Can you teach me how to walk? You're going to learn how to walk. It's the same thing as adults. You know, it's the same thing when we're trying to manifest. You don't have to ask God for the great marriage, the great life. It's already yours. You're already going in that direction no matter what. But when you say, I'm setting the intention to bring this into my life now, I'm setting the intention that I want to align with this right now. I want to do what I can right now in this space to get me closer to that finish line. God was like, okay, this is what I have for you over the next 6 years. If you want to do it in 6 months and get there, you can do it in 6 months and get there if you want to. And you can, if you rise to the occasion. But if you don't rise to the occasion, it'll take the 6 years. And that's not a big deal. It's not a problem. Patience is a virtue. There's a reason that we always hear that patience is a virtue, because it is. You know what I'm saying? We have to be patient with ourselves, patient with everything around us, because whatever you want in your life is not just about you. Like I said, God might give you a blessing and the friends that you have in your life might mess that up. God might tell you to start a business and you might have a partner in your life that tells you that you shouldn't, that it's a bad idea, makes you insecure about it, and you never do it. So everything around you has to align in order for you to step into certain things. So if you say, God, I want a new house, and you have a friend in your life that's always leeching and taking advantage of you, and you know for a fact, or maybe you don't know, God knows, if you get this new house, if you get these keys this weekend, she's going to be moving her stuff in a couple of months because she's going to need some help, and you don't have the vocabulary to tell her, no, you can't come in my place because you don't respect your stuff. You're not going to come up in my place and do that. You don't have the vocabulary to do that. So God is going to put you in situations where you can learn to speak up for yourself. God is going to put you in situations where you can learn, I have boundaries. I need to protect what God has given me, versus letting anybody come in your life, anybody come in your home. Now, you just asked for a house. You didn't want to learn boundaries. You didn't want to learn effective communication, but you have to in order to get it from God, if that's who you want to bring it to you. If you want it to come to you and you don't even know how you got it because you didn't have the money for it and it came through last minute and it's like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. If you want that miraculous miracle, there's going to have to be some things that shift around you for that miracle to happen for you, period. You know, there are people around you that you might not even be aware of that are waiting for you to step into your miracle so they can see how it can benefit them, so they can see how they can piggyback off of it. So I want you guys to be accepting the journey as a whole, accept what comes with what you're trying to manifest. You know, you're going to have to learn lessons. It's going to be hard. You're going to have to be confused. You're going to have to be frustrated, but it's going to make sense in the end. And you are being prepared to step into the space that you need to. See it as preparation. Anytime there's an obstacle that pops up, there's a solution in the obstacle. You might not want to accept it, but there's a solution in that obstacle. There's a solution in that obstacle, you know? Let's say, for example, you're trying to, now this is like a relationship example that I mentioned earlier today when I was on live doing some readings. Let's say, for example, you are, in a space where you're wondering, are these my friends? You're trying to manifest a new friend group. You want some new friends in your life. And something happens with the friend. They say something to you. It rubs you the wrong way, whatever. In that moment, right then and there if they're for you or not. You feel it in your spirit. You might hear it in your mind, but you know it in that moment. The problem has popped up. They've disrespected you. They've done something that doesn't sit well in your spirit. And the solution is right there. Kick them out your life. They don't belong there. The problem and the solution appear in the same time. If you lose your job and you've been asking for financial abundance, the solution and the problem are in the same space. You've lost your job that was paying you pennies, your job where everybody was talking about you, your job that wasn't allowing you to be there for your children how you wanted to be, your job that was taking all of your time and not giving you the money to compensate for it. You've lost that. And now that that's out of your life, you can recognize what you gained. You can recognize how you can now move forward. You can recognize that now you have time to go on interviews. You can recognize that now you have time to set yourself up for something better. You might be like, dang, I ain't got no money now. I'm messed up, I ain't got no money. Now you need to know to save. Have an emergency fund. Budget better. You know what I'm saying? Like, it sucks to learn lessons in real time because we're adults. So learning a lesson in real time might mean not being able to get the place you want, not being able to get the car you want, being late on a bill, having your phone turned off, having your lights turned off. It might mean that. But in the grand scheme of things, it means nothing. The material upset that we experience means nothing. It might stress us out. It might break us down, but you could lose everything today and gain it back tomorrow. It's nothing. It's about the lesson in it. Can you be resourceful? Can you come up with a plan? Or are you going to come against the obstacle and say, oh my God, woe is me, I can't believe this, and be in a depressive state where you're not trying to help yourself for months and months and months and years? You thought God was going to give you $1 million? Huh? That's not how that go, baby. You wasn't ever going to get that. Absolutely not. Sometimes we try to manifest stuff and we're shown how little faith we have. That's the first thing that we see. Here's a problem. You lost all faith. There go your problem and your solution. You've lost all your faith, gain it back. How can you gain back your faith? How can you gain back your hope? How can you gain back your confidence that God got you no matter what? The obstacle shouldn't bother you. The problem shouldn't bother you. God should be able to put anything in front of your face and you should know, I don't give up. I don't care what I see. I told God what I want. I know who God is. I know who I am. I'm stepping into it no matter what it looks like. I'm stepping into it. I'm stepping into it. There's a song that I've been loving when I'm doing my workout. When I do my workouts in the morning, I always listen to gospel. Hallelujah. And there's a song called This Week, I believe, by Anthony Brown and Family. But in the song, it says, I know what it looks like, but I choose to go against that. I'm speaking something different. I'm claiming something different. And it also says this week will be a week of miracles. So it's about being in a situation where you're like, I see that this is a problem. I see that this is a problem, but I'm going to claim something else. I'm going to go against what the problem wants me to do. The problem wants you to give up. The obstacle wants you to quit. You have to go against that and try something different. And if you're not able to do that, you might want to take a step back and address that before you try to manifest your partner, your life, your career, whatever. Because when you step into that space, you're going to deal with obstacles and problems then. Are you going to lose hope with your family? Are you going to lose hope with your job? Are you going to lose hope with your business? If you can't maintain those simple things, because it's really simple. You either believe or you don't. You have faith or you don't. It's very simple. If you can't maintain those things, now it's a simple concept, but it's hard to, achieve. It is, because there might be a lot of conditioning that you might have to break down, but start breaking it down. The sooner you start, the sooner you'll be done with it. So start breaking it down. Start to ask yourself, why do I not have faith in myself? Why do I not have faith in God? Why do I feel like everybody else's success means that I'm not going to get mine? Why do I feel like God has forgotten about me? You don't know what people go through to get their manifestations. You don't know what people go through to get what God has for them. Trust me, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. And the only reason people say it's not a struggle because it's not a struggle to them. I can recognize that something is a struggle even if I'm not struggling in it. It is a struggle to not know how your bill's going to get paid. I'm not struggling in it though because I know God got me. It's a struggle. It's confusing. It's frustrating, but I'm not struggling in it because I choose to believe that God got me. That's faith. It might not make no sense. If it don't make no sense to you, I don't even know why you're here. That's what manifestation is. That's what faith is. Believing something that you cannot see. Believing something that you cannot see in front of you. That is the basis of your manifestation. That is the basis of you bringing anything into your life. And the reality is, once you ask for something, everything that doesn't align with that is going to be revealed to you first. That's going to be revealed to you first before the solution is revealed, before the steps are revealed. You have to deal with that before you can get the steps to what you want to step into. And it, of course, is going to be a process, but in the end, you'll have what you want. In the end, you'll have what you want, you know? There also was another song, and I think the song is This Is It. I believe it's a Kirk Franklin song. The first line of the song says, I'ma cry now and go ahead and get it out of my system. For real. Like, that came on when I was on a treadmill. That's when I was like, I'ma cry now and get it out of my system, okay? Sometimes we have to recognize, like, okay, God gonna make me work for this. I'm gonna have to really work for this. I'm gonna have to really push through this. Get it out, deal with it, but you cannot carry on in a season of pain, in a season of suffering, when you're trying to bring something into your life. You can't do that. Like, let's say, for example, somebody wants to have a child. You know, I've done a lot of fertility readings for people. They want to bring a baby into the world. They want to have a child with their partner. And their partner and them, they don't have a healthy relationship. There's arguing, there's drama, there's mess, there's confusion. Imagine someone wanting to have a baby and they say, God, I want this baby. I want to expand my family. And their partner starts cheating, starts lying, starts abusing them, starts doing all this crazy stuff. And they're like, oh my God, what's going on? I've been praying for my family. What's happening? God is showing you that that person doesn't need to be in your life. God is showing you, you can have a baby, but not with them. You can have this, but not with them. I know so many people who have cut off a partner, a bad relationship, left a bad job, and the abundance that flowed to them did not make sense. It was the floodgates opened up, because we have to recognize, I'm seeing an obstacle right now, but there is a solution in it. I might not want to accept the solution, but it's there. If you're praying for a good relationship or good friends and you're constantly being met with issues and friendships, then you need to recognize what's not working for you in those friendships. What's the problem with these people? Are you having problems with communication, problems with expression, problems with honesty, problems with showing affection, problems with keeping in touch, problems with transparency? Where is the issue coming from? Be open about it and deal with it. Deal with it even if it goes bad. I am consistently praying for community. Not so much anymore, honey. I'm satisfied. But I was praying a while for community, for increase, for great relationships. You know, that's just something that's always on my heart. I want my relationships to be the best that they can be. You know, I'm always thinking about that. I'm always trying to make sure I check in with my friends and update them. Even if I'm, MIA for a day or two, I try to update them, let them know what's been going on with me, keep them posted. You know what I'm saying? I try to really show up for my friendships. And I try to be intentional to have the best relationships that I can. So whenever me and somebody else, we outgrow each other, there is pain in that. I have to let somebody go. I might cry about it. It hurts. But I also can recognize this person wasn't for me in the beginning, you know? And I think that's what a lot of us miss. You miss this wasn't for me anyway, you know? It's like a lot of times things are brought out of your life because it wasn't supposed to be in your life. Things are brought out of your life because if you kept it in your life, it was going to continue to poison you. You know, God does not want you to be poisoned because you are the well of your life. If you are poisoned, everything around you is going to be poisoned. Even if you have good friends, good opportunities coming, it will be poisoned because you are poisoned. So when you're asking for newness, God will remove anything out of your life that's going to bring more of that in. And it might be painful. It might look like shadow work, inner child healing, family falling down. It might look like somebody passing away. We do not know why God works the way God works. I definitely don't. I've dealt with a lot of grief. I've dealt with a lot of sorrow. I've dealt with a lot of pain. And I know that it's a part of life. I know that it's unavoidable. And I know that a lot of times when we're begging for change, change is going to come through transformation and through darkness. There is no newness that does not come through darkness. It doesn't happen. Whenever we are in the womb for 9 months, we are in darkness, and then we are birthed into the world. We're birthed into light. A lot of animals go into hibernation in darkness to prepare for a new season. It doesn't matter what you're doing. There is a period of darkness. You have to be in that darkness to excel. Whenever you're working out, you will reach a plateau, a moment of darkness where there is stillness, there is stagnation. There is no growth until you have to push yourself past that point. When you're running a race and you're running, you will reach a moment of stagnation until you reach that runner's high and you push yourself even further. You'll want to quit before you get that runner's high and you can move forward. It's nature. I don't know how much clearer I can make this, because I'm gonna be real, y'all. It pisses me off and gets on my absolute MFing nerves. It really gets on my nerves when I work with people who are just afraid of a mistake, when I work with people who are afraid of an obstacle, when I work with people who are this close to their breakthrough and they can't see it because they're surrounded by problems. We have to learn, and I'm gonna say it gets on my nerves. It fucking does get on my nerves, because you've dealt with problems your whole life. And the issues, the frustration, the pain that we feel, gets to be too big. And we cannot let the evil win. We cannot let the darkness win. And it bothers me because we be letting the darkness win. Y'all be wanting to let the darkness win, but I'm not about to let that happen. The darkness really pisses me off. Because the darkness thinks that it can have our joy, it can have our faith, and it fucking can't, baby. It can't. It cannot. You cannot lose hope because you're in a moment of darkness. You cannot. You cannot. You have to understand that darkness does not mean no. Darkness does not mean that it's over. Darkness means that it has just begun. Darkness means that the sun is coming, that a new beginning is on the way. It means that you are just around the corner from a breakthrough. Think about if you change your perspective. And instead of feeling like when shit was flying off the fan and going crazy, instead of feeling like, oh my God, my life is falling apart, you felt like, ooh, something is coming together. Imagine if you changed your perspective and you felt like something better was coming when you were in the midst of a bunch of confusion. You would walk lighter. You would move easier. You would accept harsh lessons better because you know what's on the other side of it. We just have to recognize what's on the other side of our suffering. And you have to remember, hey, a couple months ago, you was praying and manifesting for something big. You had so much hope in your heart, knowing that God was going to bring this into your life because he is mighty and all powerful. You was ready to praise before it came. You was praising in advance. And now you're doing the work and you've lost all hope. You think it's gone to shits. Figure out where that comes from. Figure out where that comes from. And learn to be optimistic, have faith, have hope, no matter what the fuck is in front of you. No matter what is in front of you. And I get it, because I've been in spaces surrounded by darkness for years, and I still have periods of darkness because, you know, life is life. So you're always going to deal with grief, sadness, frustration, losing people, hurt, pain. It's a part of life. Trauma is just a part of life. I have stuff that happened to me 10 years ago that I'm not over, that I probably will never get over, you know? So don't think that I am an expert, you know, at this, but I am able to, well, I might be a fucking expert. Don't think that I'm happy all the time, or that I'm feeling good all the time, or that I'm never in a space where I'm like, what the fuck is going to happen? How is this going to work out? You know, because I do deal with that. But in those moments, I remind myself of how I made it past everything else. I remind myself of how far I've come. I remind myself of when I was in Baton Rouge, going to cosmetology school, paying for it out of pocket, working as a bartender, working as a hairstylist, working at the casino, you know, working these 3 jobs, going to school every day, getting right off school, changing the bathroom at school, going to the casino, getting off work at the casino, waking up the next morning, going back to school, bartending after I get off the casino. I remember busting my ass with little to no friends, little to no support, little to no healthy relationships around me, and doing it anyway in a space where I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And if I did not do it then, I would not be able to be here. I would not be able to be here. So we have to remember, and you have a moment like that in your life too. You know, I'm not special. You have a moment in your life like that too, where you were down and out, no friends, no support, and you pulled yourself from that space. And now you may be a little more comfortable and you're ready to pull yourself to the next space, and you're like, wait, I got to go back to that dark spot? Yes. Yes. Every time you want to be pulled from one space, you have to go back to the darkness. You have to. And it's through that darkness that you learn new skills, new abilities, because think about it. When we're comfortable, when we're confident, we miss a lot. You know, it's a lot that can get past us when we're comfortable, when we're feeling ourselves. It's a lot that can get past us. So you have to be in a space where you can trust yourself 110%. You have to be in a space where you know yourself 110%. You have to be in a space where nothing can trip you up. Nothing can, you know, throw you off. Because when you know yourself, when you know who God has told you are, when you know what you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to step into, it's a totally different feeling that you have when you're being broken and molded. You know, I know that I have to be so strong and resilient to do what I'm supposed to do in this life. God has to put me through it because I have to get strong. I have to, like, you cannot get strong unless you're doing the work. You have to push your body. You have to push your mind and push your spirit. You have to. That's why you go to therapy. You cry it out. You book a session with me. You cry it out. You know, do the past life regression. You do the hypnosis. You have to put yourself in that space to get through it. There's no way around it. You have to go through. So whenever you're trying to create, you have to go through everything that's blocking that creation. And that is the process of manifestation. You have to go through everything that is blocking you to get to the other side and recognize, wow, It's light over here because there is light on the other side. You have to keep fucking pushing, and you have to change your perspective so you recognize in the darkness there is light there anyway. Even when you're surrounded by darkness, there is light in that moment. If you could think about when the worst thing ever happened to you, I guarantee you were feeling good right before that happened. Think about the worst thing that happened to you. Think about getting bad news. I bet you was feeling good in a car on the way to work and somebody called you and told you somebody passed away. Or somebody called you and told you some terrible, messed up stuff. You was feeling good, about to get your new car, and then you lost your job. You was feeling good in this relationship, and then you found out that wasn't who you thought that was. You're always in a space of light when the darkness comes. So don't forget that you were in a space of light before this. Don't forget that there is light for you. It's like we deal with sickness and we forget that we were ever healthy. And I get it, because I remember people always be saying, like, when your throat be hurting or when you can't breathe or when you be stopped up, you be reminiscing on when you could breathe easily and like breathe through the night and just be so comfortable in your breathing that you took your breathing for granted. That's what we need to do. When you're in a space of being down bad, you need to remember when you was too good to even appreciate it. Sometimes we be too good that we can't even sit and be like, dang, I'm really good. Like, I remember you too happy, you can't even remember last time you was sad to even compare and show gratitude. You're too successful, you can't even remember last time you was broke to be like, dang, I remember when I couldn't even afford this and now I got 1 million of them. Sometimes we get too far away from our struggle, and you need your struggle to keep you humble. You need your struggle to keep you fighting. You need that. We know why parents that are very, very rich don't want to get their money to their children, because they want their children to struggle. They want their children to get it on their own so they can appreciate it. And we've recognized children are people that have been spoon-fed their whole life, and they don't know the meaning of a dollar. They don't know the meaning of hard work. So there are examples around us everywhere in nature, in our own past, in human history, where we can recognize darkness bringing a period of enlightenment. Like even in history, we had the Roaring 20s, and then at the end of the Roaring 20s, 1929, the Great Depression. At the end of the Roaring 20s, people cutting up in the 20s, and then we have the Great Depression. What? That's crazy. We can see it in so many different spaces. Like, you have to go through struggle. You have to go through turmoil to come to the other side. And when you lose your faith, God be like, see, you're never going to get it. Like, God will, see, this is why I put you here, because I knew you was going to do this. I knew you was going to forget who you was, forget who I am, forget what I've told you to do, forget who I've called you to be. That's why I always tell y'all, knowing God for yourself, having that spiritual connection to God and the divine for yourself is the first step to any journey, anything. Realizing who God is for you, realizing what kind of relationship you want with God, realizing what God, how God shows up for you and how God connects to you is so key. Because I know God puts me through things sometimes. One, to test my faith, so I can constantly remember, I'm okay, it's fine. God gonna make a way, it's gonna be a plan, miracles can happen. I have to constantly coach that to myself every fucking day. I have to constantly be on myself to stay hopeful and faithful. But because I do that, when bad stuff comes, I already have the dialogue, Growing up in church, they used to tell us to read the Bible so the word is in your heart when you need it, right? So you read these affirmations, you read the Bible, you read the spiritual text, whatever motivates you. So when you're in those moments, you can remember it. So when you're in those moments that are rough, you can preach those things to yourself and coach those things to yourself. So you need to do that. Whatever it looks like for you, speak it when you're feeling good. Speak it when you need it. Speak it when you're feeling good. Speak it when you don't need it. Because when you do need it, you'll need it bad. When you do need it, you'll be in dire need of it. So yeah, guys, I low-key feel like I can talk about this for another hour. But I'm going to end it right here. If you guys have any questions about, rough truths of manifesting, or what you've experienced manifesting, or how you can deal with some of these rough truths, please let me know how you feel about what I've said in the comments. Let me know, what you've been trying to work on, how it's been showing up for you. Please, please, please let me know, because I want to continue this conversation. I want this to be the last time that y'all are afraid of failure, that you're afraid of mistakes, that you're afraid of the darkness. I want you to recognize what comes from the darkness and what the darkness is necessary for. You would not be in darkness if you were not supposed to be growing. You would not be being pushed to your limit if there wasn't anything bigger or greater for you. You're going to be in a space that's so incredible, so amazing, so fantastic. You're not even going to believe that you were once miserable. You're not even going to believe that you once had no faith and no hope. You're not even going to believe that person was you once you get to where you're going, seriously. So let's continue the conversation. Let me know how you guys are feeling in the comments. And, you know, I hope we can continue to talk about the process of bringing things into your life and what that realistically looks like, so we can be really prepared for it, so we can have faith through it, and so we can just understand, you know, as a whole, how we can experience more and how we can nurture ourselves as we're on the way to do that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys, and make sure y'all comment, because I'm gonna be in the motherfucking comments. So make sure y'all comment. I'm looking forward to hear what you guys have to say. And I appreciate y'all, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you guys. I love y'all. Bye. Bless.